right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Coffee and Questions podcast. I am your host, Mikel, and this is something that I have just been so excited to reboot. And we just launched our first episode postpartum for me, and now Abdel and I are about to record my second episode postpartum. And it's just so interesting the timing that you and I are, one, just officially meeting Abdel, but two, the timing of the conversation that you and I are about to have. And so before we jump into this, if you guys don't know Abdel, he is the gorilla of mortgages. Like we were just joking offline. We got to send each other gifts, and one of them is going to be a golden gorilla that's coming at Abdel for me. And when I ever am in his studio, I'm gonna hold a gorilla while we're podcasting, and just to make it real weird. But oh,
Yeah.
look at that. See, I'm gonna rub his belly. If you guys are listening to this, he just held up a gold giant gorilla that I'm gonna hold while we're in that studio. Just just too fun. But Abdel, I'm really excited to have you. Our friendship is newer, but I feel like it's not new in that same token. Very,
Yep.
very aligned in so many capacities. We've had the pleasure of sharing similar stages over the last year or so. Many, many more to come. But Abdel, I'm very excited and welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Super dope. Let's do it.
I think it's going to be needed, this conversation. So before we jump into the meat and potatoes of it, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, how you got into the mortgage industry, like most of us, probably on accident, I'd imagine. But tell us all the things, and let's kick it off with a little bit about who you are.
Yeah. So Abdel Khawatmi, got mortgages. Been in the industry 8 years. Just a few days ago was my anniversary. I posted the first picture of my quote unquote headshot, and it was pretty funny. Every single year when I post the 9 year, 10 year, 11 year, right? Let's see how old I get with white hair and the beard keeps getting bigger and longer, right? Covering double chin. Um, Went to school at Rutgers, which is so funny, right? When
Yeah.
we were
Oh
first
my gosh, I
connected,
forgot to say that.
um, you obviously just like anything, because right, we're talking about prospecting today and all that stuff, is I do my research, right? So, and I'm like, holy shit, you went to Rutgers too. And
Mhm.
what was so ironic is we went at the same time.
Exact same 4 years, guys.
Like
Abdel and I were
literally.
at Rutgers the exact same 4 years. That is insane.
Now, Rutgers is a huge college, but yes, super, super small world. Went to Rutgers, met my wife, 18 years this year, right? 2008, and we're now in 2016, 18 years. Got two beautiful kids, right? Layla and Jimmy, 14-year-old, which I had junior into senior year of college. So talk about it, holy shit. And then my 6-year-old son, who is just a maniac, right? My daughter was an avid swimmer too, by the way,
Love it.
for many, many years. And then she stopped probably about a year ago, right, with her whole whatever, right? Didn't want to deal with it during the specific times of the month. So she ended up just shifting away, and now she's all into lacrosse. But we're big sports people, right? For those watching, I'm rocking my New York Knicks inspired jersey. It's got a gorilla. It's got the Got Mortgages inspired, colors with the Knicks and the whole shebang, right? But I was actually originally going to law school, hence attending Rutgers Newark specifically.
Mm.
Obviously, having a kid at 21 was oh my God, do I go into law school and go through another dreadful 4 years and maybe come out making 100 grand, if that, or two, or do I get into the workforce? So I ended up getting into the workforce. I ended up stumbling into the mortgage industry, working at a firm for just about 5 years, and it was specifically a personal injury firm. Clients got their cases settled. Like I always say, what happens when you get a lot of money? You look to buy a house, right? I was the person that did the handoffs, right? And frankly, just got a couple bucks for doing the handoff, right? And long story short, common complaints, as I always say, every single time I'm on pods or convos with people, what makes us successful now and what made us get into the business was communication. We've purchased a home prior to even getting into the industry, and the loan officer sucked. And I'm like, dude, this is something that I think we could, run into. Obviously, eventually it became a revenue play at first, so I was doing it part time at the law firm and doing mortgages. A year and a half in, I had 1 month where I had 6 closings, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. There's some money in this. My wife was pregnant with our son, and then we just went all in, right? By the time, I'm like, hey, I think I'm gonna actually get into the mortgage business. She goes, dude, you have no idea what you're doing. Right? Like 2 years in, couple deals, leaving a very, very healthy salary job at the firm. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna do it. So we did, and this was July of 2019. So first few months, right, dabbling, closing a couple deals here and there. And then COVID hit,
Oof.
right?
It's a good
And it
time.
was
It was
the
a good time
wild
for mortgages.
it was the wild, wild west. I wish I have the database, the presence, the brand, and everything established now than during COVID. So I'm always, even till this day, I'm a purchase money driven lender. But that would have been fun at that time, right, to go through that. But yeah, that's essentially me in a nutshell, right? College, skipped law school, went in, got into the mortgage industry, and have been with the same company since.
What's even crazier is you don't know this, but I got into law school after graduating from college and almost went to UNLV Law. And my
Ah,
dad was a bankruptcy lawyer for 40 plus years, just recently retired, still practices on a litigation standpoint, like off and on here and there, kind of side jobs because he doesn't need to work. He just likes to work. But I remember when I got into UNLV Law School thinking like I could be Reese Witherspoon from Legally Blonde because I'm
yeah.
super blonde and pretty smart, I like to think. And I declined because I thought almost very similar to you. I was like, I don't want to be in school for 4 years to come out and then make $4 a year to pray that at some point I eventually own my own firm. But
Mhm.
looking back on it, and I'm sure you think about this too, like looking back and to that to and then fast forwarding to today, we are public relations slash attorneys in a lot of cases. Like I feel like I'm a problem solver in that sense all the time. And I candidly can say this. I would have been a badass lawyer. I know it. But um I'm grateful that we both
Yeah,
stumbled into the mortgage industry instead.
100%. I mean, the friendships, the combinations, I mean, the stress is brutal, but that's every job, right?
Mm.
Frankly, I enjoy doing this. I love my side of the business, especially because it's black and white, right? Listen, dude, your credit's not there. This is what you need to do to qualify. Your credit is this and your income is this. So your LLPA, loan level price adjustments, is going to dictate A, right? And I enjoy that stuff, and I'm an extremely analytical person, right? As you've gotten to know me,
Yep.
and being able to present that to that consumer based on their preferred method of how they want it has been super helpful.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the things I loved about you right out of the gate when we talked on the phone, which by the way, the first call that you and I had outside of like conferences and things was on Memorial Day, right? That's the type of people that Abdel and I are is like, hey, are you free Memorial Day morning? I'm not doing anything. You want to jump on a call? I got off the treadmill when you called and ran out to take your call. And that's just who we are, right? We love to do what we do and we love to work. And we really just like the connections that we have with other people. But I do really believe that that's why we're so good at what we do in the prospecting realm. And I remember being on that conversation with you on Memorial Day morning, just listening to you talk about how you circle prospect and how you include social, how you even allow or what you do in order to allow a loan officer to even work for you. And I just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, this is somebody who freaking gets it. And not even in like a I have standards way, but in a I have standards for you because I want you to be the best person. I want you to win, right? So if you're a loan officer and you're like, I want to get into the mortgage business, don't just go hang your license somewhere and be like, cool, I'll figure it out. And maybe I'm successful, maybe I'm not. Like, those are not your people. And I just love that about you. I love that you hold them to standards that you would have held and have held yourself to. But more importantly, it's like, I know how to win. And if you want to be on this team, you have to want to win too.
100%. I just had a great team meeting literally earlier this morning. Just got rid of our sales team lead, right? Which stings, right? But I've been preparing for quite some time for it to happen. We
Mm.
were just not aligned. And I will never fire somebody in my 8 years with several loan officers. I never fire somebody. You will eventually quit. And it's because of an accountability perspective. Hey man, you're running this many credit pulls. Hey, you're doing this. Hey, you haven't put content out. Hey, you're shooting content, but it's not being there, and you're not actually tracking the metrics, and you're not seeing that photos are coming in better than carousels, and you're not
Mm.
tagging the other person as a collaborator. Like, this is not working. Like, we have to stay on top of this stuff, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. And eventually people will either love it. I've got one originator more or less just hit 1 year in a business, right? And he's crushing it. And it's very social media heavy, right? But at the same time, very belly to belly in your face. and then now picking up relationships like we just did. I don't know if you saw a Glow Glam and Got Mortgages. So we rent out a nail salon and invite some of our referral partners,
I need my
preferably
nails done. I
realtors.
should have come.
Yeah, and they come and they get, free mani pedis, there's mimosas, there's, little hors d'oeuvres that we got, and the agents love it, right? We did it in Ocean County about 6 months ago, and then now we just did it in Monmouth County, staying hyper local. And then we just again have fun along the way.
Well, let's dig into the details because one of the things you said to me on the phone, and I love that we're both like want to be lawyers because this is going to be fun. I can already feel it, you know?
Yep.
But there are some specifics around how you circle prospect that I really, really like. And one of the things you said, which I want you to go down the wormhole here on, is when you have a client come in and you are either prior to close or getting ready to close or building the relationship even, you include going and finding them on social, and that's part of the flow of it. So take us all the way back to like how does a client come in? Where does the social piece come in? And then you even broke down like the messaging and how you talk to them on social. So can you just go through all of that?
Yeah, so I call it SCTE, right?
Because
Social
everything
call.
you do is in analogies or
Yes. Have you noticed
acronyms.
that?
Acronyms.
That is definitely something that I do. Right. You always hear me say like proof, right? If you want to be a successful loan officer, right? Show me your persistence, right? Show me your resilience, show me your operation strength, your omnipresence, and your funding. And if you could show me those five, right? PROF, right? Five
Yeah.
things, we'll be successful, right? But going back to it, right? So SCTE, not post closing or not post contract or not post conversation, the second a lead is referred to me, right? And depends on no matter where it comes from. So if it's consumer direct, it's coming right into our CRM. So the team immediately, before they even pick up the phone and make the phone call, is going to search for that consumer. Right. Now, if you have a hyper unique name, then we'll try to get into particulars where we're typing in your first and last name and maybe your phone number. Or frankly, nowadays with AI and what I built, we built out a Claude agent that now the consumer gets typed in, they type in their name, and we ask it to give them their social media links. And instead of us sitting there looking around like a bunch of idiots, trying to find out their profile in five different platforms. AI is giving it to us customized in one project consistently. The team does not have to go in and ask, do this and do it in this way. No, the project's already done. It's already set. There's instructions behind how I want it done and how I want it set. All they have to type in is audit on Mary Smith, and Mary Smith's information is going to come in. And then they click on the button, do the friend request and all that, right? Then they call the consumer, text the consumer, email the consumer. Now, when the call is done to the consumer, there's always identifying information based on your social, right? So do you like dogs? Do you like cats? Or do you have kids? So now the team is able to have those articulated conversations, including myself too, right? I'm having that where I know if you're a Cowboys fan, I'm going to immediately joke about it and tell you, hey, I just called, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. I also noticed that you're a Cowboys fan. You're so lucky that I enjoy putting people in home because this would not be a conversation I would normally want to have with somebody because I'm a diehard Giants fan. So, so it totally breaks the ice, right? But I'll also identify the consumer, if they might be somebody who you can tell. I always say you got about 5 seconds to realize the scope of the conversation just from the tone of how they say hello, right?
Mhm.
As
Mhm.
to, am I going to be the yo bro code Jersey gorilla person, or am I going to be the hyper formal professional individual who's like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
Mm.
Um, and we just do that, but we leverage the stuff that people are freely putting, in order to build that potential rapport that is somewhat dialed in, leveraging that data essentially. And then the team is also trained on how to, and I'm not a fan of many chat and things like that. Amazing platforms, right? They obviously pick up their own steam. They're good for maybe product-based business, in my opinion.
Mhm.
We are all in a service-based business, and we try to make it personal. So it's, hey, dude, thanks so much for connecting. Dude, you're an absolute monster. Notice that you just closed one, if it's a realtor, notice that you just closed 123 Main Street. Good job, dude. I saw that you sold it for over ask. So the team's doing the research in advance. They're gonna be like, how the fuck did this person know that I closed 123 Main Street? Well, guess what? You're talking to us. So now that's gonna either pique your curiosity or you're just never gonna answer, right? but majority of the time it's going to pique their curiosity. And you might text like I do too. I'd have to look, but like the way I text is like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Send. Hope everything
That's
is good."
exactly how I text is
Yeah.
multiple, and my husband hates it.
So, I am not a paragraph texter. And actually, sometimes if I do, I end it and I say, "Sorry, I was dictating this," because everybody's used to me doing the annoying ping, ping, ping. Um, but even like our drips and some of our CRM automations are dialed in that way too. It's actually really annoying because like it's like, all right, 5 minutes later do this, 6 minutes later say this, 6.2 seconds say this, so on and so forth. But yeah, we take that approach and it just makes the convo a little bit more easier to pique the curiosity, and that capture rate becomes that much more better.
So if I'm hearing you right, when the lead comes in, whether it's a realtor, whether it's a consumer, you guys as a team are immediately finding them or scrubbing it to find them on social.
100%.
Now, question, because I have a philosophy around this, but when you find them, do you immediately follow them?
We do follow them.
Okay.
We do hit the follow button. And let's be honest, sometimes it takes a couple Mississippis, especially if it's an online direct consumer, to catch them. You know, one call, two call, three call, four calls, five calls.
Yeah.
And then when they do catch them, clients like, "Oh, we're actually friends on social media." No shit. That's crazy. And we'll find some type of such a small world. So
So
some
how
type
do
of
you feel like from a perception standpoint, just because, I have a philosophy around this. I have what I call the 48-hour rule is what I teach our clients who are like trying to use social as a prospecting tool. But the 48-hour rule is that you want them to follow you first and then you follow them back 48 hours later. So we initiate conversation through DMs, which is, my superpower, the outbound prospecting message, which it sounds like you guys have a framework to that already, but I don't follow them yet because what does it look like in my mind? Again, I'm asking for your
desperation.
perception because from my perception, a loan officer starts following a realtor. What does the realtor think the loan officer wants?
Business. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 48-hour rule to me is you wait 48 hours, but you're in conversation with them that whole time, right? Ideally, they've now already followed you, but you start with the conversation, allow the conversation to grow organically about running dogs, gorillas, whatever it is. They then start following you because they want to, and they actually realize that you're not many chat and that you are a real human. And then 48 hours after they follow you, you follow them. So you're
Mhm.
now back at the top of their inbox. You've, triggered a new notification and they realize that you were in it for the love of the game, not just because you wanted their business.
Business. Yeah, I love that approach. We got to definitely sprinkle it in there to take advantage and see the different
Yeah.
report
You
stuff.
love data. I would encourage you, like, from a
Oh, I'll
standpoint
track
of
that
just the
KPI
data.
for some of the LOs, and then some of the ones that are doing it, let's call it the traditional model of mine, um, and see what works. But it's funny, right? Like I always say, when I talk to people too, like truly, sincerely, I'm not looking at you as a dollar sign. Like
Yeah.
trying to be friends, especially if it's a realtor. If it's a consumer, even then, that same thing too. Um, but especially from a professional, like, dude, because we might not mesh, right?
Yep.
And frankly, majority of referral partners, you're a dime a dozen. So just like us, right? So we might not mesh, and that's okay, but I'm not going to change my style and how we work, our communication, right? You know, I mentioned to you, I do my Monday, Wednesday, Friday emails like clockwork, so
Yep.
on and so forth.
No
Um,
fail.
if it's too much to you, Mr. Realtor or Mrs. Realtor or Mr. Loan Officer, it's
Then we're
okay.
not meant to
Um,
be.
get off the team, right? And that's frankly literally what just happened yesterday when my team lead said, we're not a good fit, and I'm like, it's all good, dude. Like I'm not sweating it. And I
Mhm.
wish you absolute best of luck, but I mandate a certain workflow. I know it works because of the reputation that we have and because of the communication style that we have, and or maybe frankly show me otherwise if your style is different, but if the results are
Yeah.
neither there and you're not following that, then it's not
Well,
going to work.
again, it just comes back to standards, right? Like, if you don't like the way that I'm presenting this to you, but yet your results aren't anywhere close to mine, then let's have the conversation and figure out like why are these so different? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because you're telling me you don't like my system, but your system's clearly not producing anything for you.
Results.
So who do you want to listen to? And I know as a leader, I know enough about you to know that you want to have a conversation about it. Come and sit down. Let's jump on a
Right.
Zoom and let's talk about, hey, what kind of ideas do you have? And what do you want to implement? Sure, let's try. But again, it always comes down to does it work or does it not work? That's it.
Exactly.
So let's go into the prospecting piece for you from a outbound standpoint. So you obviously can probably don't need to outbound nearly as much as most people. I had a great conversation yesterday with somebody about this, and he was asking me, he's like, Michelle, you're speaking all the time, you're doing all this stuff all the time. Like, I need to figure out what you're doing because it just seems like all the business comes to you. And I was like, out loud laughing. I'm like, no, right? Like, especially as a female, you and I have also spoken about this. As a female in the mortgage space or a female speaker in the mortgage space, it's even harder for me to get opportunities just because I'm a female, which is
Right.
stupid, but it is just the truth. But you're so good at receiving the inbound, obviously, because of the nurture cycle, because of how you guys market and all of that. But let's do a 180. What does outbound look like for you guys?
Honestly, similar flow too. But we'll leverage model match extensively,
Mm.
right? From searching for referral partners, right? So searching for real estate agents. We'll leverage a lot of artificial intelligence, right, to search for that referral partner. I'm a big
So
AI guy.
go back to the AI thing because our mutual friend Katie Shy would love this, right? But go back to the AI thing. So if you're using chat or Claude and you're outbounding for something, this is gold, my friend. Like I really want you to dig into this. But like what are you typing into Claude if you're outbounding to try to find a realtor?
So the first part is you have to identify who is the ideal client avatar that you're looking to target, right? Are you looking to target a real estate agent? Cool. Do you want them to be a high percentage of buyers versus sellers? Do you want them to be hyper focused in I'm in Jersey, so Monmouth County, Ocean County? Do you want them to be having an average loan amount or average sale price in this case of less than a million, right? Because I don't do a lot of jumbo, right? I do a lot of non-QM, but I don't do a lot of jumbo. So frankly, I don't want to necessarily partner with the agent whose book of business is entirely luxury because I'm going to lose them on rate to an institutional bank. It's just the nature of the beast, right? So then all of that instructions is super, super detailed. And frankly, age plays a role, right? And I'll leave it at that in terms of guess what side of the totem pole I'm going to be on. So all those structures are in place, right? So when a team goes in and they look to identify not just for real estate agents, because again, our friends at Model Match just kind of simplify that stuff for us, especially with the new crap that they came out with. It's like, bro, I'm like geeked out. Um, but the attorneys, referral partners, financial advisors, estate attorneys, um, life insurance, contractors, builders, like those are the ones that I really build off AI to find me and leverage that stuff for me. And then again, it's helped me find them their social media, then their websites, and then our friend Katie knows we do a brand audit too. So
Yep.
there's a Claude project specifically for a brand audit on them. And when we do the initial touch, if I get just a bite, right, of them, my team knows there's an SOP, of course, for everything. So the team knows that we actually create a housing link where we put everything in front of them. They create it in advance, right? So it's a whole blocked out where this is our value offerings. It's like a la carte list. This is all the stuff that we do. Here's your contact information. Here's some of the resources we found online. Here's some AI generated infographics of how we can collaborate within one another. And if we ever have a client connection, this is how we would love for you to drop when you're doing that connection. So now there's two things of value, right? And it's getting dropped before the meeting. So that agent or that referral partner is like, what the hell is this? This isn't just a random loan
Guy
officer
calling me for my
who's just
business.
yeah, this person's actually done the time and energy alongside my amazing team, right, of that stuff to be able to do it, right? So when I go in, like, obviously as our businesses evolve, there's teammates, there's admins, there's support staff, there's biz dev, there's growth strategies. Like those are all the different departments that we have because I want that baton handoff, right? Everybody knows how to do each person's job, by the way, and I'm a big believer in that. So
Oh,
biz
for
dev
sure.
is being trained on growth strategy. Growth strategy is being trained on sales. Ops, I introduce them to that stuff, but I make sure everyone understands ops because I'm a big ops driven guy first. Ops first, sales second. Because then my LOs can confidently go in and say, yo, dude, yeah, we can. Oh, a lender's dropping the ball. Yeah, we could take it and close in less than 10 days all day. Right. And it allows that much more of that efficiency to kind of roll in.
Well, I just love because one of the things for me with chat, right? Even just the other day, I'm a big chat person. I know a lot of people like Claude. I think same
They're
in a
both
lot
the
of
same.
cases.
Yeah.
But what I do is find opportunity from a speaking standpoint through ChatGPT. But here's how my brain works around it because my ChatGPT, as Katie and I spoke about, is literally like my diary, right? Like everything about me, everything about what I do, everything about postpartum nutrition, everything, like all of it, right, is in my ChatGPT, which is scary when you think about, oh crap, what would happen if my ChatGPT goes away? But that's where Katie comes in because she's gonna fix that. But the thing for me is my chat is so trained to know exactly who I am, everything there is to know about me from a personal, professional standpoint, what I like to talk about, how I talk, what I say, all of it, so that when I do go use it to prospect and say, hey, I want you to go find me X, Y, or Z, it's actually going to find me what I actually want, right? Because it knows who I am and it knows the personality matches that might help me, right? So when I did that for like speaking gigs, for example, there were three that came back specifically around one topic that I asked it for. All three of them, when I go to their websites, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just like so aligned with all three of these. Now it's my job to find the decision makers at those companies to be able to go send the prospecting message to them, right? So it's done the research, it's given me the information, and now it's my job to go do the 5 to 10 minutes of, okay, let me dissect your LinkedIn. Let me really make sure I know who you are and how I want to write this message. Because when I send this message to you, I really want that opportunity. I don't want to mess it up. So that message is not written by AI. That message is not written by, a many chat box or a copy paste message I've sent to 10 other people. That is like really intentional, slow time that I've taken to write that message. And that's what I hear you saying. So I'm bringing that to the forefront here because this is, yes, we have to showcase that we've done our research. We have to showcase that we've done our homework, but it doesn't take us out of the game and it can't.
No, and that's again like in this ever evolving world, right, of tech, modern technology, AI, we're not going to be as fast. Like there's just plain and simple. It's physically fucking impossible.
Yeah.
But you can't take away my authenticity, right? You can't take away the fact that I'm always going to be in my gorilla gear. You can't take away the fact that I'm going to have fun combos with you. And honestly, even if you don't send me any business, dude, it's so awesome to meet, right? Like just so awesome to bullshit each other. It's such a small industry, right? In real estate, we're probably going to run into each other's again. And if I didn't have a shot, right, when I first spoke to you, especially if it was virtual, chances are when you meet me in person, you're gonna be like, this guy is the same energy, right? Like when we met, right?
Yeah.
As he is on the phone, as he is in person, as he is on Zoom. Couple F bombs here and there, which I've gotten a lot better at, by the way.
Yeah. Same.
Um, but I think it just allows you that much more to that synergy, that click. Or on the flip side, right? Lord knows, there's a shit ton of people that I don't want to do business with,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they probably feel the same way about us. Um, but I want to surround myself with both consumers, right? If a client is a shopper, beat it, right? If you're not going to trust me by the time I'm done with you in less than 10, 15 minutes, because we've done the research, because we've done, with Dave with total cost analysis, and we put a whole mortgage coach stuff in advance prior to our meeting and stuff like that. And then an offer
Mhm.
gets accepted and you ask me about your rate. I'm like, yo, dude, go shop, go to ABC Bank, XYZ Bank. I'm out. Now, I'm the first one to take my shirt off, right, and take care of the consumer. But I don't, there's a level of respect that I kind of expect, just like I'm sure the consumer does as well. And we try to find that perfect match. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just think this is where we are in our time right now, right? In 2026, this is where we have to be as entrepreneurs and as commission-based employees. We have to look at prospecting differently
mhm.
because I actually think, and maybe you agree, I hope you agree, that we're on this rise of like human interaction being more valuable again, right? As opposed to, because I feel like last year, every conference I was at, I mean, I swear every single conference, one of the keynotes was about AI. And
I
I'm not saying that that's bad, right? I'm not saying that that's not something that we need to spend time learning and being good at. But I'm kind of sick of how can we make this easier and faster, because the things that are good are not always easier and faster, right? Sometimes, like for me, for example, like slowing down and taking the extra 10, 15 minutes before I send that message, I could just have chat write it and copy and paste it and send it, because I could say, chat, pull a profile on this person, who are our mutual connections, write the message and send. But that doesn't feel good to me,
Mm-mm.
right? Now, can I and do I use ChatGPT to look up people that I need to prospect? You bet your butt I do, right? Because it is designed to make us more efficient and cut out a lot of the extraneous time. But I just personally feel like it's like compartmentalized, right? I'm going to use AI to help me prospect, but I'm not going to use AI to actually do the prospecting. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
totally. I always say I use it more for an operational efficiency perspective rather than a sales perspective. Like you can't catch me ever creating an AI avatar, right? Doing
Oh God.
videos.
Or an AI graphic. Please God, no.
Yeah. Sometimes we have fun just to mess around with a cartoon or some shit, or like some people put like type this prompt and see how it looks. And
Oh yeah,
but
those are fun sometimes.
those are like
But
cool.
that's like fun. That's not like, here, make this graphic about VA loans and post it on my social, because no.
It looks terrible. And you know what I always say, sometimes, I'm always it's funny you said that. So I'm always like mismatched on that. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't put content out at all, right? Then screw it, dude. Put the fucking AI flyer, right? You'll eventually start realizing that and I don't know the algorithm. I don't think anybody knows the freaking meta algorithm, frankly. I think it's actually down right now from
Yeah.
what I heard.
Nobody
But
actually
they tweaked
knows
it
what
out.
Adam is thinking, or Mark Zuckerberg. No.
But authenticity is right now is the leading indicator for success in the industry, in all industries, right? Because I think people still want that human interaction, right? When I officially went all AI, I guess you could say. I have two Teslas, right? Got rid of all my cars. I only have electric cars, which thank God over the last 3 months everybody's complaining about gas, and I'm like, what's that? But I still wanted the human interaction when I bought my car, because the whole experience is supposed to be like you order it through your app and then you go through this and you go through that. And I still ended up getting the human interaction, right? Because I still somewhat wanted to talk to that sales rep for my Cybertruck, and I wanted to get this and I wanted to get that. It was definitely easier, especially because I went through it the first time with my wife's car. Um, but I've never been more on the phone, and I know you've heard me say this. I've
Yep.
never been more on the phone than ever before. Like even the deal I just got punched on in the face because our team, unfortunately, tried getting a CD out 7:30 at night. The loan amounts didn't match, so the closer never sent it, and it was late, so people missed it. And then I come in this morning that, oh fuck, we didn't send the CD, we can't close on Monday. And you're like, dude, like
Hey man,
no,
that's
but
life.
it
That's life.
sucks, and
It
and
does
you
suck.
got you just look like terrible. So what do I gotta do? I gotta waive my app fee for $695. Woohoo. I tell my wife, it's like, we're not going to dinner, right? But you know what? I picked up the phone. Back to my point, right? Picked up the phone. I'm like, listen, dude, we fucked up. And my bad. And he's like, oh, it's this, that. And I was just sincere with him. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I totally royally screwed up, and I'm at a loss of words. And we do this like in our sleep, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, it got missed, right?
Yep.
Client's cool about it, right? I mean, he also got $700 out of it. But at the same time, it is what it is, right? And I share that for real authenticity, because social, obviously, and I know you always hear me talk about like we say, right? When am I going to talk to you? When I'm walking out to the gym or from the gym, I'm going to
Hmm.
shoot content, frankly, because we're so goddamn busy, thank God. But I'm like, all right, I got to get my video out, and I've been doing it more about active client scenarios and what we're actually doing, and I'm obviously seeing a lot more interactions and a lot more people liking that stuff. So
Yeah. I mean, it's just case in point. Like, the fact that you're on the phone way more than before, I think tells us that that's what humans are seeking so desperately. So it's interesting. I think my heart's just telling me there's going to be a shift over the next year or two, right? Where, the SaaS programs that are out there that are designed to make us more efficient and faster, and this new tech, this new tech, that. I don't want to say I don't care, right? That's not a good way of saying that and not accurate, but I care less, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't even know that everybody necessarily wants to scale massively, right? A lot of conversations I've had with people over the last couple of weeks have been, we actually want to slow down, not necessarily in our sales volume or like, how much we're making from a company standpoint, but I feel like I have to race to catch up to all this stuff. I feel like, hold on, I want to like chill and slow down and just be really good at what I'm good at. And you're really good at talking to people, Abdel. Like, I mean, just point blank. So the fact that you're on the phone more, despite how successful you are, despite how busy you are, tells me and should tell everybody listening to this that you can be really busy and do a lot of loans and still be on the phone a lot. And yes, AI has a place, but it does not replace the call that you had to make, even though it cost you $700.
Yeah. Oh, not happy about it. But but listen, I'm a big execution maniac. And I'm sure, our friends can all attest to it. Our buddy Craig Davis, right?
Oh yeah, love me
Shout
some
out to
Craig.
Craig. He always says, noise over signal, right? Or however the tone he is. And there's a lot of freaking noise right now. Being out there in the industry, stuff changing so fast. You don't have to do it all, dude. Like you literally don't have to do it all, right?
I
If you're
actually think
someone
trying to do
listening,
it all gives people more anxiety. I mean, I know it gives me more anxiety when I'm like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. And I'm like, no, I don't, though.
just like I told my teammate right now, right? The ops team who dropped my guys one file at a time, right? Client calls you, hey, I need it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can I call you in about 12 minutes? Right? Can I call you in 10 minutes? I'm in the middle of taking care of something. An originator hits you up and says, do this, do this. No, dude. Hey, I'm sorry. I would love the opportunity to assist. Unfortunately, I'm taking care of this file right now and then take care of the next thing. So I'm the same way when we talk about tech, right? So like I said, if you're somebody listening and you're like, all right, what do I do first? The first thing I recommend that you do is, like I said earlier, you identify who is that premier avatar you're looking for.
Hmm.
Once you identify that avatar, the next step is what I would do is grade them as to like who's most important to you. Would it be a financial advisor, attorney, contractor, then realtor, right? Would it be in the reversed? Would it also identify based on your market, right? Like, I think you said you're close to a military base. Did I hear you say that
Yeah,
or no?
we live right by Fort Campbell in
Yeah.
Clarksville,
So,
Tennessee. Yep.
sure by a military base. So obviously, in my opinion, my ideal clientele is going to be something along that nature, right?
Well, yeah,
How,
we joked about this. I don't know if it was me or you. It might have been Craig actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But we said like, Michelle, if I were to go do loans tomorrow, like who would be my ideal client for doing loans for? And mine, ironically, is yes, military, but more so a fit military family, right? So
sure.
families that love fitness that happen to also be in the military. So I don't want I don't want to use the term that they're actually called because that's not politically correct, but um I don't want the non-fitness oriented individuals that happen to be in the military. I want the mom that I meet at F45 or the mom that I meet at the CrossFit gym who's married to an SF guy because I'm married to one and we're like, hey, we're all the same. And oh, you're pregnant, so am I. Right? Like those are our people. So yeah, tomorrow if I decided I was going to do loans, that's exactly what I would be going after.
So you identify your client avatar, and to your point, right? Then you also build the same for the consumer too, right? And then I always say I have three clients, right? My loan officers, my clients, and my referral partners, or loan officers, consumers, and referral partners. Those three are each my clients. Each one has a different avatar. And then you take it from there. And then from there, you can now leverage artificial intelligence to kind of help framework that for you, right? And then thereafter, you can now go through whether it's model match to search that data or social media, frankly, to help you search that data. And then you dial down your prospecting, right? You dial down how you're going to talk to them. Listen, not everyone's going to talk like me. Frankly, sometimes me talking has gotten me not in trouble, but somebody's like, oh, that was a little unprofessional or whatever. And it's like, dude, you already gave me the answer that I don't want to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
And I think trying to stick to that consistently, but you have to identify yourself first, right? What's going to be your prospecting metrics? How are you going to do it? Are you going to track it, right? And then you're going to be able to dial it back, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and find out. And you can't do it in a short stint, right? You got to let nature take its course, especially
Mm.
with social, because I still haven't freaking figured out the algorithm, right?
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
don't care about the algorithm.
it doesn't work. It's like, oh, you got 70,000 views. Pay us 20 bucks. All right, pay you 20 bucks. Boom, 700,000 views. All right, so this was a revenue play, buddy, right? Like Instagram just came out with the new paid versions, right? I think it's plus 399 and then it's gonna be 50 bucks and then now there's a 150 and a 500. Who the hell knows? So, I did a little bit of research, me, because everybody leans on us for that stuff, and I did a little research and then I went to Claude and I had it basically say do a little bit more research and now give it to me in my infograph that I would like to be able to refer to my referral partners, right? So I did. So I put an infograph, branded to Gone Mortgages, and I gave it to them. I don't have to do that, right?
I want to see
Chat
that
just,
graphic. Text it
yeah,
to me.
I'll send it to you. Chat came out with its ads, right?
Yep.
The ad version of beta. I think it's still in beta stage, but so that same infograph, I have both. I have Instagram on the left, chat on the right, and then on the bottom, I'll be honest, I don't remember what I typed out for it to do, but it says like AI this and leveraging that, right?
Hmm.
Um, but this is the stuff where we've been successful is approaching all this from an educational perspective. Not look how great we are and this is what we're doing. No, it's just like honestly, dude, we're doing this stuff and it's pretty cool. And we're learning along the way and we're making a bunch of mistakes, obviously. And identifying it and then staying consistent to what you're looking to do will bring you results.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to fail forward, frankly. But in regards to the algorithm, I think this is a good spot for us to wrap this up in this tone because the algorithm is it's the dopamine hit, right? It's the, oh, I figured it out for 5 seconds and now I'm going to do this for a week and it's going to work for a week and then, oh, shoot, right now it doesn't work again. Welcome to the algorithm.
Mhm.
Which is why there are some people that get paid a lot of money to just go understand the cycles of how it works. But for me, I don't want to spend time and energy in that. I have found that regardless of, what the algorithm might be doing today, what I'm going to be doing doesn't ever change, right? Which is I'm going to send one message to somebody that I don't know today, and it's going to be using leverage, name dropping someone I have a relationship with to get to somebody that I don't. And that's the discipline aspect over the dopamine aspect because discipline will win over dopamine any day, all day, every day, right? And I think, there are ways for us as master prospectors. I definitely consider you a master prospector, to refine our skills there and to be aware of the social imprints that are happening. Cause like, yeah, I do care whether or not, I need to be in the paid version or not in the paid. Like I do care about that. My clients are going to ask that. Right. But am I going to say, this is the end all be all, go chase that? Absolutely not, because at the end of the day, it's so simple. One message every day. It'll change your life.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a big time blocker too. So, time block it. I think sometimes um trying to put a spin of authenticity too, where sometimes you don't want to always hit that same person at 9 a.m. or always hit that same person at 10 a.m., right?
That's a good point.
There's a little quasi style to it, right? In my opinion. I think from a consumer follow-up perspective, it's cool to do that. I think if you're going to follow the authentic prospecting, just be a little cautious on hitting that same person the same goddamn time.
For
Even some of
sure.
my email drips go out at like 9:13, 10:42, right? I do it purposely where it doesn't go on, right? How annoyed is it when we get an email from, I don't know, Bed Bath and Beyond and this store and that store, and it's all like 9 a.m. 9 a.m. I got like 17,000 different spam emails or 17,000 different CRM driven, you know,
Yeah.
um,
They do it on purpose.
not
No
non-QM
question.
stuff. Yeah. Dude, like you could literally schedule it and within our CRM, all of my drips, by the way, is not mortgage driven. Everything is home search driven for consumers. It's all home search driven. Talk to
It's
me
so
about
good.
bedrooms, bathrooms, locations. Nobody wants to talk to a mortgage guy or gal about numbers, and you tell them, hey, I'm going to stop you from buying your dream home. That's basically in my opinion, what you more or less are looking at them. They're always going to look at you as a big bad wolf. And then just coincidentally, you quoted them at a 6.5 and rates drop, and now you could quote somebody at 5.75, and now they can get an extra 25,000 and then dump you in 2 seconds, right? Rather than keeping them updated on market signals where that trust factor is there, that they're going to call you and they're going to be like, hey, I know that, please be a good meeting, right? Next week, Fed chair is meeting, right? And who the hell knows what's going to happen? Hopefully, right, it works out in our favor. Tee up your clients in advance before that, right? Because Lord knows the media has its own agenda. That client needs to have that trust factor in place that they can easily come to you, or you're going to beat them to the punch, answering them and educating them, rather than we are dealing with the most educated consumers ever in our industry
No
because of
question.
AI, right?
Yeah, no question.
Um,
It's actually kind of scary.
it's scary. I love it though.
Yeah. I mean, it's
My,
scary in a good way because you're just like, wow, I have a lot of useless knowledge now in my brain, but I like kind of love
well,
it.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of use of knowledge, and that
Yeah.
was thanks to Rutgers and the
Well,
NMLS.
I mean, hell, I use ChatGPT even now because like we love baking in my house and we love making homemade pizza and all that. And my husband and I are really nerding out in ChatGPT about like, can you make this more endurance friendly, like using
Mm.
endurance to or endurance athlete typing ingredients? And it's like, oh, I know this about olive oil versus this about like just stupid, but also fun, right?
It's
Uh,
so cool.
it is so cool. Abdel, I feel like one, we need to do a panel at some conference somewhere. Like whoever's listening to this, if you run a conference, please call us because we should do that. And get Katie involved, get Craig involved. What a dynamic foursome we would be. But what I really want to end on is something that I really love asking. Because to me, it's a bird's eye view sort of into your brain. But what do you feel like right now, today, in 1 minute or less, is the next 6 months for you? Like, what do you feel like the primary thing is that you really want to focus on in the next 6 months?
Execution of everything that's made us successful for the last 6 months, right? We've dialed in successfully. We're up 64% year over year, 109% from 2024 to 2026. And I do this
So
metrics with the
good.
team every single Friday on that 9 a.m. call of where we're at year to date from January 1st to that specific Friday, right? And it keeps them motivated. And we dial in, right? That sales team lead that left, 63 days was his clear to close. That's a you know what? That's a problem, right? You
Mm.
don't need 63 days to close. That generally tells me that there's a problem with that. You also had an X number of credit pulls versus an X number of closings. That's a problem, right? So I dial in so much into the data and then use that to leverage that information to go for the point of attack, right? If you ask me my source of business, I already know it and you've seen it on my other stuff, right? Dial in on your data, right? 33% is realtors, 19% is social media, 14% is past clients, and so on and so forth. I
You're
get
so good
7%
at
for
the
the
numbers.
gym.
You're so good at the numbers. It's insane. Like the
Well,
fact that you
I
know that
enjoy
exact math is wild.
I enjoy it, and I also do it like it's articulated, it's in a graph, and I think this comes from just the college days where like I always used to take my notes on a chicken scratch, and then I used to come home and I would like type it or dictate it. So I saw it, I wrote it, I heard it, and I seen it. Um, but it's also like I think the biggest where we've seen the success was I'm not the big bad gorilla sales guy, right? I'm like your best freaking friend, and I'm going not to gonna come off aggressive, right? I'm gonna come off nice about it and have the data to really prove it. And I think putting that mix between the two just allows that trust factor, not just from clients, but referral partners and them referring themselves for their own deals or consumers for their own deals, and then taking it from there.
I love it. I love how your brain works. I love how aligned we are. I love how much we could talk about this forever and ever and ever, but I do want to be a good steward of your time. And I know you got some loans to close. And I got some prospecting to go crush.
Let's
That's
go.
sort of how it goes. But I truly appreciate you being on the show. I think there's so much value in this. I have a feeling people are going to be like, hold on, wait, I can use chat and Claude to prospect. Hang on a second. So I love that hopefully this is going to pique those the eyeballs or ears of people, and that's what this podcast is all about. So thank you for just being you and for your time. And until next time, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the Coffee and Questions podcast, please listen to it. Reach out to Abdel, tell him you heard it, all the things. It's the best thing in the world as the host to hear from the person I get to interview. Hey, I heard that episode and XYZ, right? So give us your feedback. We'd love to hear it. And until next time, guys, we'll see you.